What's up, traders? Welcome to the weekly close live stream. Today's going to be a short stream. I got some places to go, but we're going to hit the analysis of stock market. We're going to look at the perfect futures trade this week, a couple other things, and of course, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, what it might do over the weekend. If you got symbols to look at, post in the chat as always. If you're catching this after it aired, it's on YouTube. Skip ahead. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to get things started. Happy Friday again to everybody. Hope you had a good week. Hope you're ready for the weekend. Got to keep the stream a little short. I got a friend's birthday to get to, but we're going to hit all the major points we do, just in a little bit of condensed version. As always, I do these streams every Friday at 4 p.m. If you got symbols to look at, I do these streams for you guys. I love to teach about trading, and I love to trade. I love to trade. And one of the reasons I do this for you guys is opportunity generation. It's a little selfish because we do have some really good viewers that tune in and give some good things to look at, crypto, stock, everything. And that's because we can't look at every single symbol. So what I try to do with the live stream and my Discord community is crowdsource ideas. So links are below, and we're going to get into it. Let me make sure we got chat. Hey, Casey, what's up? Happy Friday. Hello, Worley. Good to see all the familiar faces. Could I go over Polygon? What's the symbol for that, irrepressible? And by the way, guys, if you like I said, if you have symbols to look at, let's get them in either on YouTube, TradingView, or Discord. Get them in the chat. Get them in the chat. And also, Wolf asked to take a look at Ichimoku. Well, I could teach entire semesters about Ichimoku. So What specifically were you thinking about? Well, post in the chat, and I'll see if I can address it. I'll tell you the main way that I use Ichimoku right now. That is for sentiment, and actually, that has a very good Bitcoin connection that we can talk about. Have you seen my videos about Bitcoin and the daily Ichimoku cloud? I think that's one of the best studies of it. Matic. Okay. All right. Well, let's just do a quick recap. I think someone asked in my Discord earlier today, what does this move in the stock market mean? Well, I'm not sure what they mean. I'd like to know. I asked them, what do you think it means? To me, as I've said for weeks now, we are in a bull market. I know that if you listen to the media and you listen to all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, the FUD, that about inflation or politics or anything like that, they're going to paint a different picture because that's what gets likes, shares, subscribes, clicks, views, everything like that. But the reality is the stock market is broken. It's past all-time high. It did that in February, and every week since has stayed above that past all-time high. And that's also important for what's going on in Bitcoin right now. The all-time high when you have any instrument, doesn't matter if it's stock market, crypto, oil, whatever, just the very fact that all this week, multiple times Bitcoin has been making a run for the all-time high. It bounced off of it on Tuesday really hard, like a 10% down day, I think, on that day. And then today it's once again hitting it very sharply. Now, of course, Bitcoin bulls are going to say it's going to break, but I have a very specific criteria that I'm going to look for in Bitcoin for if this thing is actually going to break. Because if we go back in history and we look at the times past that Bitcoin has broken its past all-time high. Let me clean up my indicators here. I like clean charts, and really we just need to look at what happened last time. Something very kind of similar happened last time in the December 2020 hit of the all-time high. It briefly poked above it 1 week. This is a weekly chart, by the way. And then it took about 2 more weeks to actually solidly break it. What I need to see within my rules, this is like one of the top principles for me in trading. I look for candlesticks to close. Candlesticks to close does 2 things. Number one, it confirms the resistance as being broken or support, depending on what it is. And number 2, it makes one patient. And one of the things that's going to really get you and trip you up in trading is not being patient. And so I learned many, many years ago that waiting for the bar to close, in this case, for the breadth, this time span that we're looking at with Bitcoin, it's got to be the weekly. So we're going to see this weekend on Sunday, UTC time, how it is Eastern. It's either 5 or 6 o'clock. I forget. It's Sunday night, basically, is when this weekly bar is going to close. And we will see if it looks something like this, like it did last time, or if it falls short like it did in the far more critical time of 2021. Because this, back in October of 2021, was when it failed to break its all-time high. Now, I've talked to some people about this, some people that in Bitcoin that they don't really believe in price action. They don't feel like they need it. Number go up, supply constraint. That's fine. That's fine if you don't need it. But you really have to appreciate what happens at these levels. Because back in 2021, regardless of whatever fundamentals or whatever inflation or interest rates, or I heard a story that Sam Bankman-Fried was selling fake Bitcoin, and that's why it went down. Well, those are all cool story bros, but we don't know about those things until after they happen, and by then the price is already the price. And so what ended up happening in 2021 was you had October and then a November failure to really solidly close over that all-time high. You need people to keep buying something for it to stay bullish. And Bitcoin is in a tear right now. It's pure euphoria. Everyone has already priced in the breaking of the all-time high. It's like it's already happened. You know, is six-figure Bitcoin's already here in some people's minds. But I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to wait for this weekly bar to close. And we still got 2 days left, so we shall see. I got a lot of things in the chat right now for some crypto, and basically all crypto. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to look at each of these symbols that you're putting in the chat. And please do, by the way, if you're just joining, this is going to be kind of a condensed, shorter stream. Got some place to be here a little bit. I'll stay here for a while, guys. It's kind of I just want to give myself enough time. But get your symbols in the chat. By the way, I do this every Friday, 4 p.m., and I do this for you guys. All right? So I'm going to look at all this stuff off, but I'm going to tell you right ahead of time, everything is following Bitcoin. Everything's following Bitcoin. I mean, it's just that's the big driver of the crypto market right now is Bitcoin. It's getting everyone excited. It's getting all the interest. It's getting people to be risk on. We'll look at each one. We'll look at each one because what we can do is we can look for pullbacks and individual opportunities in these. You always want to do that. But I bet all these things are bullish. So we'll take a look at those symbols in just a second. Let's see. Wolf says, you just saw a video focusing on only the cloud, but there seems to be a lot of other aspects to it and a lot of different uses that I don't know about. Right you are. Tell you what, I'll give you a couple things here in just a minute. I promise you that. Some really cool things to think about. Like basically just really the most important thing, I'll do it right now. The most important thing that you need to look at is the daily Ichimoku cloud. I did a study of this. It's on my YouTube channel months ago. This is before like this whole bull run. But the key thing that you want to look for is for price and momentum to be out of the cloud. Now, the first time it got there in many, many months, actually this right here, this span of time in Bitcoin's history from June of 2022, actually let's go back a little further, from March of 2022 all the way to January of 2023, this right here, if you're using TradingView, go up here and download image or copy image to take a snapshot of it because this is really, really important. I use Ichimoku on all the base numbers. I know that some people over the years, recent years, have been trying to make better Ichimoku numbers that are for crypto, but I have been using the classic Ichimoku numbers that were invented in 1930s, almost 100 years ago, used to trade rice futures. Ichimoku was created by a newspaper editor, not even a trader. He just wanted to draw charts for his newspaper. But the key thing that you need to know, the one thing that I use, there's a lot of other uses, but the one thing that I use, and I really believe in, is the daily Ichimoku cloud. And you can see it in Bitcoin. Basically what you want to have is price to get on the side of the cloud, in this case bearish, at the same time that momentum, or as it's called in TradingView, the lagging span, or in the Ichimoku terminology, the Chikou, and I'm pronouncing that not the way it is. It's Chikou. I'm not Japanese. I don't know how it's actually pronounced. I think we had, what was it? Who was it that was Japanese? They could pronounce that for me. Can you revisit your home price normalized by inflation idea? It's been a while since I looked at that. I hope I say that. I might be able to. All right. Chikou. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Chikou. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you. Probably still didn't get it right, but closer than Chikou. All right. Anyway, price and Chikou needs to be on the same side of the cloud. Then you have a confirmation of a trend beginning. Now, in this same chart, we can see where this happened on the bullish side in March, but it didn't start a bullish trend. Oh, well, is anything 100% in trading? No, but this works a lot. This was the start of the start of the bearish trend was once again back here in December when momentum and price was out. And it lasted only a little while, and then it finally got back up here. But let me show you how it actually really can work to separate when Bitcoin is trending and when it's not. So that bearish trend started, and yeah, you might have taken a loss if you went bullish there, but if you'd known to get out there, you would have been fine. Now, you want to get in long. You want to buy Bitcoin, okay? It's coming down into the 18,000s, 19,000. That's pretty cheap, right? But remember, price has not gotten above the cloud yet. So you're still being patient and you're still waiting. Well, it got above the cloud right before the FTX collapse, but notice that momentum was not on the right side of the cloud. So that was the filter. That was the confirmation that was needed that we did not get via Ichimoku, and so you kept yourself out at least a little bit longer for a better price than 2,100. And then around January, boom, we finally had a move up that confirmed both price and momentum. And that was the start of this whole epic rally that we've been seeing. Now, a little bit later, oh, here we have another touch of the cloud, but momentum not out, still bullish. And up it goes. Now, around June, I believe it was, it actually flashed itself on the outside. Boom. Technically, it went bearish, according to our rules. Then it went bullish. And that's where this kind of stuff fails. Not every indicator is going to work in every single market. Ichimoku is a trend following strategy. And so you would have gotten whipsawed a little bit in this period here. But once again, price and momentum got out of the cloud, and it's good to be bullish. And that, my friends, is when the next leg started. And so if you really think about this from a trading perspective, wins and losses, we know, if we're traders, we know that we're going to take losses. We're going to have wins, and hopefully they're going to be bigger. So if you think about it, let's just say we apply this strategy completely diligently, okay? We were able to capture about this much, because when it got out here, basically, this was probably like a break even. Like when this was bearish, this told us to get out or go bullish, and then here we had to close it as well. Depends on which way you're going. But you were able to capture this as a short, this short amount as a long, maybe take a loss here, maybe take a loss here, but then able to be in this move here. So that is the primary way that I use Ichimoku, is to know when the trend is shifting sentiments from bullish to bearish. And you can see back in January when the ETF launched and the absolutely not a sell the news thing happened, the cloud contained the bullish trend, as it often does. This was what I would call in Ichimoku. Now I'm getting into more advanced Ichimoku for you, Wolf. This is what I call a cloud pullback, or an Ichimoku wave, whatever that's what I used to call it, a wave, basically. But it's basically a cloud pullback. And oftentimes, the cloud is going to contain the trend. Now, if we continue on, what would it take for Bitcoin to get bearish again? Well, it's got a long way to go. It's pretty damn bullish, actually. Okay? So that is the basics of Chikoku. Yeah. So that is the basic concept of it. And then the bonus I gave you, which I don't want to dump everything on you right now. I actually have a channel for Ichimoku Wolf on this Discord. If you go down, put any questions you have in there. That way I can write it out with examples and have time to actually answer the question, and other people can read it as well. So do I have that? Yeah, it's down there. Ichimoku. Where is that? I thought I had it down there. Am I blind? Okay, I'll make an Ichimoku channel then. Oh, you got it, yeah. Oh, it's under indicators. Got it. Yeah, by the way, guys, I have a Discord. I don't charge for it, but it's where I go to answer questions. I trade live. I'm going to look at the trade from earlier this week. That was a perfect freaking trade. I really got to brag about it. Futures trade, by the way. But yeah, that's where I answer my questions. So links down below. And go ahead and start getting your symbols in if you need to look at it. I know I promised that, but we're going to start looking at them in just a second. All right, so stock market. I know that someone on the Discord asked me, what do I think of this current move? Like I said, we're bullish until we get some kind of a close back below this all-time high. And then we might be in some kind of a little bit of a predicament. But if you'll notice, I have Ichimoku on my chart still right now when I'm looking at the ES. This is the S&P 500 futures. We could use SPY, but it's going to look basically the same. I like to use ES because that's what I'm going to trade if I trade the market, basically. Notice how on here I have Ichimoku, and then what you'll see most of the time is I take Ichimoku off, and then I either have my retracements indicator or my spikes. And you'll notice this red line stays in place in any indicator set that I have. That's because it comes from Ichimoku. It's the Ichimoku 9-period conversion line. Or maybe Hello Worley can tell me how Tinkinson is pronounced. Chico. Chico, like toe. That helps. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. And so that is, I mean, this is nothing in an indicator is magic, okay? Ichimoku is based on 50% retracement levels. That's what made me appreciate how powerful 50% levels are. There's a lot of different fib levels. Technically, 50% is not a Fibonacci level, but people still use it as a Fibonacci. I tried doing Elliott Wave. I tried doing Fibonacci levels early in my trading, and it's just it didn't really register with me. It didn't. I'm not going to knock anyone that does it. It's just not useful to me. I like to keep nice, clean charts, keep things simple, and also I've just found that 50% retracements are just so incredibly useful, more useful than anything else. I mean, just look back at the COVID low to the prior all-time high. In October of 2022, we hit a 50% retracement of the whole COVID rally, and that was where price reversed. Price also reversed with a spike. This was the CPI data for October. Such an important day for my analysis because, I've been studying 50% retracements and spikes, or that's what I like to call them, spikes, but they're basically false breakouts. Basically, when price gets slammed down in one direction or up in one direction and then comes back up to close inside of the Tinkinson, the red line here, the conversion line, that is my definition of a false breakout. And it's a powerful, powerful reversal tool. Think about it. Everyone was thinking that price was going one way, and then all of a sudden it snaps back and, they're in losing trades. What are they going to do? They're going to panic and sell or buy, depending on which way they went. And that's why they can be powerful reversals. And that's where I want to be. How I got to that point? I got stopped out a lot, as I'm sure you do too. Don't you hate those liquidation bars, those liquidation candles in crypto? I know I sure did. They happened to me a lot. And finally it occurred to me, if they happen a lot, why don't I trade them? Took me years to figure that out, actually. But those are the two things. Actually, those are the three things. Ichimoku and the cloud, 50% retracements, and spikes. That is what I trade on. And it's very, very useful. Now, circling back to the question about the stock market, this red line is going to contain a strong bullish trend. The 9-period conversion line is going to contain the trend. It's 9 periods because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There you go. There's 9 bars that make up the conversion line, the Tinkinson. And that's where price looks like, it closed today. Closed to hold the level that I look for to know if something is strong bullish. So technically, is it? Hold on, let me double check. Closing price today was 511.72, and the level is 511.49. Same thing on the ES. Again, this is not magic, but when people, the question was to me, let me read it from Discord. So we need. He said, Norak, my friend, we need a special analysis in today's lesson about the move we now see on S&P 500. It looks very crucial to me. And I asked him, or her, whoever it is, what do you think it means? I'm happy to give my analysis and teach, but at the end of the day, as traders, you guys have got to make your own. This reversal after a new fresh high looks suspicious to me. Okay, well, what does suspicious mean? So I don't want to ask those kind of questions myself. I want to have some rules. I want to have some guidelines. And my guideline is I look for price to be contained by the red line. And if we get a close below that red line, then I might actually start thinking, maybe we can possibly get a short set up. And the reality is, statistically, in any given year, you're going to see 2 to 3, 5 to 10% corrections in the stock market. And that's what there'll be. There'll be corrections. There were, in the year 2023, I think let's see, where were they? Let me get my info line out right here. So we now know in hindsight that 2023 was bullish, even though most people thought that we were going to have a continuation of 2022. That's what happens. Have a bear market, everyone thinks the world's going to end. Have a bull market, well, I would like to say, people eventually think it's going to go on forever, but people are really, really skeptical right now. And I'll tell you something, markets grow on skepticism. As long as people are skeptical, it's probably going to stay bullish. It's when people throw care to the wind and are investing in SPACs and IPOs, and that's what caused 2021. By my definition, the most bullish year in history, because every single month made a new all-time high. Never happened before in the history of the stock market. There were I'd actually checked, there were 2 other 11-month all-time highs, but never before in 2021. And then what do you have after the most bullish year in history? A bearish year. That's the way that the market does. So in 2023, bull year had a 9% correction, and it had a 10% correction. And everybody panicked. Believe you me. I don't know if you're trading, but I'm trading every day. I'm reading the news every day. I'm reading people's thoughts every day. And everyone's just freaking out every time this happens. Notice something, though. When this last pullback happened, you got what I was talking about, where you have a close below that red line. Prior to it, for many, many weeks, this is a weekly chart, by the way. For many, many weeks, you had price being contained by the red line here. And then you have the week of August 14th. That was the first close you had. Now, the beauty of it is you actually got a pullback to that red line. Because remember, I like to trade on 50% levels. And yeah, of course, it went above it, but that in itself is a trade. This is what I call a TS recap, and very useful for me. That's how I got a short on NVIDIA about 2 weeks ago. Did I short NVIDIA today? No, because I didn't see a setup that I liked. But I'm looking. We'll talk about NVIDIA in just a second. Down 5.5%. Woo, man. My buddy was just saying yesterday, do not FOMO. Do not FOMO in. Do not. Yeah, don't. You don't have to buy NVIDIA. Like, it's going to come back, bro. It's going to come back. Don't worry. These things can go on longer than people think, but they don't go on forever. And we should all know that by now from trading. All right. So that was a pullback, but of course, closing below that red line was the first signal that you got that we were going to enter into that sort of a situation. And then we had, a little scariness into October, but very short-lived, back above that red line, and here we go. And so week after week after week, price is staying above that red line. We could, at this point, because I'm still going to look for that all-time high, we could, at this point, pull back, let's say, from here, 6%. Oh, no, that's not the one I want to do. The red line is about 3% away. We could pull back to the 3%. It wouldn't even be a correction. There's a lot of people that are, I think, looking at overbought indicators right now, like RSIs and things like that, and they're all going crazy, whether it's Bitcoin or NVIDIA or, probably the stock market. I'm not a fan of these because the market can remain overbought or oversold for much longer. It goes along with the whole adage, the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. So be careful using those and trying to short based on them. All right. Let's see. Yep. All right. Let me start gathering together all the symbols. I'm really keeping my eye on Bitcoin because yeah, I really want to see what it does this weekend because this will close above the all-time high and then it's good to go. And it's oh look at it. It's just flirting with it. It's just like eh, eh, is it gonna close? That's why you just need to uh, wait for this weekly bar to close. And then we can go YOLO. All right. On my watch list, Kroger. Wow. This is Jen's favorite stock. And you're in BITI again. It's not a bad time. It's not a bad time. BITI, by the way, is the ProShares short Bitcoin. So you buy it if you want Bitcoin to go down, and Bitcoin going up means it goes down. It's an inverse ETF. Kroger earnings. I mean, who would have thought a grocery store would be up 10% on an earnings analysis? 14% this week. Wow. Again, you can see on the chart here. Where did I get into Kroger? At the 50%, way back in. Actually, I think I got into it probably in this area right here, but it was after it hit the 50% level. When did we? It was forever ago. Yeah, 2022 feels like forever ago. But yeah, 50% level on that. In fact, if you look at my watch list here of the things that I'm in, Amazon, 50%. Let's put on Ichimoku and let's see how that looks. So, like I said, Ichimoku is based on 50%, but the cloud is not always going to be a 50%. And this yellow line, the bottom of the cloud, the hard part of the cloud, oftentimes what will happen is it will set up a flat part. And then that would have been in years past the level I would look to enter a long or short. But I found that, Ichimoku, because it's 52 bars, that's so rigid that it doesn't always capture the trend, and you're going to have movement in the cloud. And so that's why I started only just drawing the 50% manually and confirming. And so Amazon, at the beginning of last year, it hit its 50%, a 20 plus year 50%. Caterpillar, this is another one which hit it back in 22, right there. Kroger, we talked about that one. Met, that's another 50% right there. Home Depot, it's a weekly 50% right there. I'm trying to find one where maybe Ichimoku will match up with it, but it doesn't always. Hold on, maybe you'll see. Give me a monthly? No, come on. This is why I started doing it manually, and I don't exclusively use Ichimoku. I need to talk about LLY. We'll come back to that and that. But Coca-Cola, man, that was a kiss of the 50% right there. So anyway, and let's see what else we have. Oh, I actually have a lot I want to talk about on my watch list here. Well, let's talk about Eli Lilly. Why do I want to talk about Eli Lilly? Well, this is a company that I've owned for a decade or more. I've got it in various accounts. And this week I was rather upset. I was upset because, and we're going to get to crypto here in a second. I know a lot of people want that. I said this was going to be a short one, but I've got a bunch to talk about now. All right. So I really got aggravated when I saw this. I don't know if you guys read Zero Hedge or not. Zero Hedge is a kind of a news aggregate of markets, trading, but what you have to assume is every time you read something on here, it's propaganda. It's either right-wing propaganda or it's hedge fund propaganda. And so I saw this come up earlier this week on Wednesday. Pharmaceutical company is racing to expand manufacturing of its lucrative new class of diabetes and weight loss drug, Zepbound. This comes as a rival to Novo Nordisk, Wegovy. At some point here, I'm sure they're talking about that. What's that weight loss drug that everyone is taking? It blocks cravings. What is that? It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. Anyway, there's just incredible bullish news in this article. It's just everything's going to be great. They're not going to be able to keep up with supply. It's just going to be Eli Lilly stock is going to explode. And that pisses me off. I'm a contrarian. I know what that means. I know they're trying to pump the stock. Some hedge fund person paid somebody to write that article because either they're long and they want to get some exit liquidity to sell, and what they're going to do is they're going to kill the stock. You can't read a news article that's talking about how bullish something is and do what that article says. You almost always have to assume the opposite. And so it pisses me off because Ozempic, thank you. Yeah, that drug. It pisses me off because I've owned this stock for over a decade and I never had to worry about it. It just freaking wins. Now, people are going to start playing games with it. And now I have to start paying attention. So I'm pissed off at some hedge fund for trying to pump this stock. I mean, this looks like a damn crypto. NVIDIA. Let's see. What is NVDS? Is NVDS NVIDIA short? NVIDIA bear? Be careful. You can do that if you want to. You can use a bearish ETF, but here's the thing. I'll just tell you what my gut on this tells me. Weekly, yeah, good catch. Whoever just said that weekly candle formed bearish. Shooting star doji. I have a very limited capacity in my brain. I can't remember all those candlesticks. But what I will say about this weekly bar is, remember what I said earlier about the red line. Close was 875.28 and 872.63 is bullish. NVIDIA is still bullish. By my rules, it is still bullish. Now, if we get a close below it, I'll come back next week and we'll talk about it. But be very careful. I know everyone wants to be the smart person that shorts this thing and says that they shorted the high, but I've got a gut feeling it's a lot of people have been trying to short it. A lot of people have been trying to short it over the last several weeks before earnings. I was actually looking, stalking it last year in this little pattern right here because price had stalled. Did not short it because my rules kept me out, and I'm glad I did. So be very careful. My gut tells me that it's got at least one more game to play with people because now you had this big red bar. You're not fooling me. You're not fooling me. You're not going to draw me into a short. These things can go on a long time, my friends. They can. All right. What do we got here? Let me talk about the trade from this week, actually. So this was, and I'm proud of myself, and Jen knows this because I have a superstition about trading on Wednesdays because I've gone through my trade logs in years past and found that Wednesdays are my least profitable day. But nevertheless, I kind of forgot that momentarily. And then right at the open on Wednesday, there was a 5-minute spike. Actually, it was a 1 minute to begin with. I actually got in on the 1 minute because I saw it and I had to go. But it was right at the 50% level of this entire trend going down. Okay, remember 50%? Super important. And then on the open, when you have these kind of opening spikes, these are beautiful. Basically, at the open, everyone got into longs on the NASDAQ futures. And then by the end of it, close back inside the red line, close back inside that 50%. That's a trade. Where am I going to take it to? To the 50% of the way up. Boom. In and out. Damn, that was good. It's live in the future chat if you want to go check it out. I only take, and don't, if you read my Discord and you read my trades, don't expect for me to be like sitting there, in and out and giving to people trades. I only took one trade this week. It was this one. It was the only one I liked. I'm picky. I think I'm averaging about one futures trade a week, actually. And not sure the exact percentage, but I'm winning. Let's see here. It's because I'm very picky with my rules. Tesla, look what they're doing to my boy. Look what they've done. They've killed it. Yeah, they're going to kill it. Tesla basically is going down to probably the 90s, actually. Why do I say that? it's because I'm preparing myself for it. I'm trying to Warren Buffett this thing. I'm breaking my rules as a trader, and I'm just going to do it because I like the company. I own a Tesla, and that's confusing me because I think it's a great product. And apparently, maybe the criticism is correct that Elon is ruining his own personal brand by getting a little too tweet happy on his platform that he bought. But I don't know if that's affecting or not. But damn, 200 was really the level. 200 right here was really the level, unfortunately. On to winners. So, again, crowdsourcing ideas. A member of my Discord came in and took out a put on Apple. I think it was on Friday or no. It was it was on Friday of last week. Thursday of last week he took out a put, and then Friday he came in when it was up a little bit, and because it was down in the morning, and he said, "Hey, I've got this put. Should I take profit?" I'm like, "Okay, what kind of put do you have?" He said, "I've got a June." I was like, "June? June? You bought a June yesterday, and you're going to sell the June now?" He's like, "Yeah, well, I wanted to not take so much theta decay." I was like, "Well, that will definitely get less theta decay, but let's have some imagination, okay? We've got it all the way out to June." Like, I took a put with him, and yeah, been able to ride this bearish week in Apple pretty well. It's my only bearish position right now, but that's what I like to do. That's another thing, going back to the stock market, guys. If you get a bearish sentiment on the stock market for whatever reason, find unique opportunities in weak stocks. That's how you express a bearish thesis. Don't short the market that's going up. Don't short a bull market. No, it's an exercise in ego. Just don't do it. Find individual stocks that are weak, because think about it this way. Stock market goes up, all stocks are going to go up. Your shorts are going to lose unless you have a stock that is for some reason uniquely going down. And then you won't waste money on throwing puts out there on a bull market, but you have a chance for that stock to actually underperform the market and make profit on your short while still remaining long the market with other positions. And so I fully agree with hedging with individual stocks, but shorting the market, look, the market has a high probability of going up. That's just what it is. I'm not saying it's going to go all the time, but probability wise, you're going to lose more than you're going to win. And you got to be strategic. And that's how you can do it. All right. Yeah, let's start looking at symbols. All right, let's see. Go back to ARK. You want to look at ARK? What is Kathy Wood doing? AARK. AOORK. Has it recovered yet? I don't see a trade. All right, let me go back and actually circle and look at these cryptos people want to look at. All right, Matic USD. We're going to do the lightning round. All right, that's Polygon. Yeah. All right, so it's going up. Where are the resistance levels? Well, from the all-time high down to the low is 162. And then you're going to have this high down here that's going to solve it up. I don't really see a trade on Ichimoku. It's potentially getting bullish. So what you need is a little bit more action up into the 1.2, and then you can actually say that this thing has switched over on the weekly and gone bullish for the long term. I wonder if that's what other stocks, or not stocks, crypto are doing. LTC Litecoin. Haven't thought about that in a while. It is technically on the weekly coming out, but just barely. Everything's lagging behind Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is driving this thing. It's got an ETF. It's rocking. Rune getting bullish on the weekly. This is actually, we got to wait for this week to close because this is a spot. But yeah, a lot of, it's good to look at these things. Thank you for bringing these up. IOTX USD. Let's see. It's an ERC 20. Ugh. Not quite. Getting there. All right. Let's see here. Let me go back up and look. Sand. I did say I had to leave early, and we're already almost to an hour. 45 minutes. All right. Not quite yet. Oh, let me take that off. Boop. Auto. There we go. Not quite bullish yet. I mean, a lot of these things are definitely trending in the last couple of weeks and months, but you got to be careful, guys. On the longer term, they don't quite fit my definition for being bullish yet. Litecoin does. Was it Rune does, but not quite yet on this one. All right. Let's see. Snow. Yeah, we'll look at that in a second. I did look at Tesla. It's the reason I say it's going to 95 is just to be bearish about it, so there'll be a bottom. As long as people have optimism, it's not going to bottom. That's just the way things go. All right. Let's see. Snow. What did Snow do? My friends have been trading Snow a lot, but oh, good God, what happened? That's bad. What were they doing, Jen? What were they doing on Snow? Were they bearish? Oof, that's gross. Day trades, yeah, all right. I did not get into that in any way, but that looks that's bad earnings. That looks gross to me. Did it hit a 50%? No, didn't. I don't know. I only look for opportunities. All right, let's see here. Oh, we'll say this, by the way, guys. This was a trade from earlier in the week. Bax, really good textbook example of where price gets up to a 50% level, holds it. You see the little spike there, holds it again, and then comes up and resistance turns into support. This was a trade from posted in Discord earlier this week. It was also a spike at that level. Love it. Love it. I love it. I just only ever want to take 50% level spikes. If I can be patient to do that, every year I get better. Compare myself to the trader I was yesterday. But yeah, when you see things like this, they're just so damn perfect. Oh man, that's why I love doing this. I like it when things come together like that. All right. What is theta? Give me a symbol to put in, because when you say theta to me, I think option decay. Oh, Cardano, ADA, USD. What is it doing? Again, this was something that people have come to me in the January live streams. Actually, I think in December, Cardano was really ripping, and it looked something like this. And someone came in the chat and said, "Hey, do I buy it?" I was like, "Draw your 50%, wait for a pullback, and boom." Do you always get it? No. But I'm someone that's always going to wait for this. All right. Let's do theta. That's good. Look for the weekly breakouts. Hey, if Bitcoin breaks this all-time high, I have to hedge a little bit. I got to be a trader. I mean, I can't just assume that it's going to until it actually closes above it. If it does, then crypto's gonna go. But it needs to. Everything's gonna follow Bitcoin. Oh yeah, that thing's going. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, sand. Not quite yet. Oh, we did look at that. Okay. Let's see here. Can I revisit my home price? Let me do that for you later, ROI Crypto. I've got to wrap things up. But one more. XNO USDT. I'm here for you guys. USDT. Close. About 2 more weeks and you'll be out. Looks like it's starting to get there, though. A lot of stuff is set up that way, if you notice. We're kind of recovering from the great malaise, the great crypto malaise that we've been in, the great crypto winter. All right, guys, thanks for joining me this week. I want you all to be patient. I want you to remember to wait for bars to close. And I will be back again next Friday at 4 p.m. If you have questions about Ichimoku, about spikes, about retracements, go to my Discord, ask me questions. I'll give you a book of an answer if you just ask. Thank you. Trade wisely. Have a good weekend.